Hey guys, this is Nick and Rez, and this is She Wolf Alchemy.
So, today we are getting into an interesting topic. Over the weekend, one of my homegirls sent me a screenshot of this Twitter thread. And essentially, this Twitter thread started off with this girl saying, "Y'all remember that thread of men admitting they didn't marry the woman they loved?" And this created this huge conversation. I'm not on Twitter, so it was like hearted 77,000 times. So I think that's a lot. I don't know. But my friend sent it to me and I ended up like following it over the weekend. And it was just like blowing my mind reading some of the men's responses, but also some of the women's responses. So
Mhm.
today we are going to get into the topic. Is it the other way around? Do men actually settle when they are the ones who get married? So just before we get into Neek, you read the tweets I sent you. What do you think about this in general?
I don't think I ever thought about it, but then once you send it to me, I'm thinking about it. Like I think like they're like guys' first love or whatever, or first person that they really love is who they probably would have wanted to be with, but they was want to be a player at that time and they couldn't get that person back. So it's just like kind of think it is whoever's there now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just men though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Man, as man, I don't think it's just men.
So, but like, here's the thing. So, people did talk about, like, hey, sometimes women do this too, but they were talking about in general, it's seen as women looking at relationships for love instead of stability. And like, one of the things people argue was like, y'all don't understand, marriage was created for stability, to make sure wealth went on to the rest of your family, your daughters are taken care of, blah, blah, blah. And that they're technically right. Like, marriage being about love is actually relatively new. I think sometimes we forget that. And so
Mhm.
I do think you're right. I think both sexes definitely do it, but I do think I see women more so than men who like their purpose of getting married was because I love this person. It's a very emotional based choice. I feel like we all
Yeah.
we all have that one homegirl that like took the plunge from this dude who was just like absolutely horrible in every way. But she's like, but I love him. And you're just like,
Mhm.
he broke, he can't support y'all. Y'all keep getting pregnant. Like you go through all the things. And she's like, but I love
It's always
him.
about love.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, there's definitely men who are like that who are like, no, just because I love this person. I know that happens. But I think it definitely seems like love is the biggest reason for women.
Mhm.
I have thought about this subject before. Just, I have a lot of brothers just based off things they have said. But I always thought it was just me. I guess I didn't know other people thought this too, or this was actually for real. I didn't know men were conscious of it. That's the better word. So it was just real interesting actually reading it and looking through the thought process and then also listening to women's feedback. And it's just like, it hurt my little soul. Cause like you read some of these threads, some of these tweets, and the women are like, yeah, this man did this to me. Like we were in love, blah, blah, blah. And then he went on to marry someone else. And then he said I was his true love. And now he's chasing me with his married ass. And I'm just like, y'all.
I mean, I had a guy tell me this. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's like that true love thing, and then they still want to be like players, but then they can't get that person. I had a guy tell me the same thing. Now that you said that, like, this should be you. Like, I'm just with her because we didn't work out.
Yeah, I side eye those comments, but just because I feel like I know so many women with that same exact story, and don't get me wrong, I do think some of them are real and genuine, but some of them I just think he's sending that text to all his exes, like
Everybody.
yeah, like he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. He did not marry the person he wanted to, obviously, because they're on their honeymoon. He texting people, but I definitely think that's something just dudes who are unhappy. They kind of just throw bait out and see who's gonna take it.
Mhm.
So one of the tweets said, "This guy in my job is getting married because the girl he's with is getting older and wants to be married like the rest of her friends and was forced to propose or else she was going to leave him. But he's constantly checking out other women and shit. It's weird." So my thought on this is one, you can't be forced to propose. Like you always have the option to be like, okay, well, I really don't want to marry you, so I guess it's over. It really sounds like to me He just doesn't want to be alone. So he took,
Mhm.
I guess, the easier choice. But I feel like this is something that definitely happens. I definitely know of people, and I'm thinking older couples who were like dated for like 10 years, and a woman was just like, well, if you don't marry me now, I'm gonna leave. And the dude finally was like, I guess.
I would just feel like I would just want to leave if I was a woman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so here's my biggest thing. Like, I don't want to beg to be loved. I don't want the person
Mhm.
I'm with to feel like they settled.
Mhm.
Like, no, love me with all your heart. Put your chest in that.
Yeah.
Or leave me alone. Like, I don't even want to date somebody that I have to convince to love
Just
me.
wanna even be around me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I don't know. Like lately I've been like, I don't know, like love for me is more gonna be convenient. I don't know. We'll see. But
Well, so we talked about this though. Like, guys, I have decided that I don't think I want to get married. Like, it's just no longer an important to me. And it doesn't have the appeal that it had when I was younger.
mm,
And kind of like, I think what you were about to say is like, some of it was just going through stuff that I was just like, honestly, I'm tired. Like, I no longer have interest in love or anything like that, if I'm being honest. But then it went from that to me actually just really enjoying the time I have alone. Like, just really enjoying being happy and not having to worry about somebody else's feelings, my mood not being able to be changed by somebody else's feelings or by what somebody else is doing. All that time that normally occupies your mind of what are they doing, why didn't they text back, was he acting weird last night, that was suspicious, I didn't see any of my bobby pins at his house. Stuff like that is like, now I don't have that, and I am able to do so much other things. I'm enjoying doing these other
mhm.
things, and I don't know, I'm really enjoying myself, my own company. I have so many projects, like I am doing so many different things on the side. I have a lot of projects in the work, and feeling productive again really helped me and really helped me with my depression. Feeling like I'm doing something, feeling like I have something to look forward to. And because of all the stuff I want to do, I don't have the time to invest in another person. But I feel like the longer and longer I stay in it, the less and less appealing marriage appeals to me. Plus all the other stuff. Plus all the other stuff. That's a whole other subject. We can get into that later. So, how did you get to this point that you're like, I don't know?
It just seems like it's like way like it's just too stressful. Like lately I haven't liked anybody though. Like I
Mm.
haven't had like, real emotions or feelings like I like that guy. I want to get to know that guy. So it's like that's kind of foreign to me. But then if somebody said something nice, like or as a child, or just like making sure my well being is okay, I don't
Mhm.
even like that person, but that's how you feel like it's just gonna be like this person is nice, this person take care of me and my kid. I'm just gonna have to like that's how I
Yeah.
be feeling. I don't feel like it's love anymore. I don't know if it's because I found a true love and that's who I want to be with. I don't know if it's that or it's just like I'm just tired. I am tired of like
Yeah.
the BS and the dating and worrying about my I don't know feelings and stuff. It's just like yes, I'm happy like we're figuring me out, but I think work for me is making like my life stressors are stressing me out to the point where I like you're okay and you're happy, but I'm not really because it's just like so much other stuff going on and crashing around me. But I just started to feel like worrying if somebody likes me or worrying if somebody cares about me is irritating. So it might just be somebody who just I just feel like it's a business raven. He really likes. I don't know. This sounds bad, but
No, it doesn't. I think it's good to be able to have that open, honest conversation about it.
and I was always about love, but I don't see it as a real thing anymore. Right now, at least that's how I'm feeling right now. I don't know.
Oh no, I like hearing you say this. I'm just like, what? Because I could have swore just like 2 months ago, I said something. You're like, no, don't give up, don't settle. Love
No,
is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So they don't really tick you off if you are like no longer, because you're
No.
usually really up and happy and like who I can go to if I want to hear some like real love, cheesy Cinderella story. Things can happen.
Like, no, I probably was keeping the hope alive for somebody at the time. That's maybe why I was still
Mm,
cheery.
That is only a thing.
Whatever. I don't need anybody, but it would be nice to have.
I mean,
Like,
that's still hope because I am no longer there. Like I'm definitely at a point where I'm just like, no, and me and Carly could travel the world. And then me and like I am just at the point like I am literally only making plans for me and her. Like in my head, we got matching outfits and everything. Like I
we
don't
already do
even,
that. Like, we
I
have a match
don't,
after we travel together. We do
yeah.
stuff together. It's just us.
But no, what I was saying was, but I think it's good because you still have like, you're not against it. You're just like, I'm now at the point where I'm like, I don't want to waste my mental worrying about it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But you're still open to the idea of like, yeah, if it happens, that would be great. I am no longer open to the idea though. Like I
I could be open, I guess, but I don't put much hope, much effort or anything. So it just have to be like something just thrown at me.
I mean, I honestly feel like that's probably the best way to do it, though. I know so many people who had so much hope at one time, and having that type of hope for long periods of time and having disappointment after disappointment can really do something to your spirit.
It definitely can.
And I'm not saying that to say like don't have hope. I'm saying that to say like maybe sometimes having a stoic attitude towards things can be more helpful and can be a better option. Because then it's like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. What's going to be is what's going to be. Because the thing with hope is there's always a chance of disappointment. And again, I'm not saying don't hope. I'm just saying if you have a certain area where you have so much hope and it keeps crushing you, and like after every blow, it's just like, this is the end of my world, maybe look into Stoicism and try that approach. The Stoic mindset is a philosophy. It goes back to ancient Greek and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's basically like learning to have an indifference. And not in a negative way where you don't care about anything. It's just like, okay, if I have to go through this pain, I guess I'm going through this pain and I am indifferent to the pain. I'm just going through the process. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I definitely think, sometimes it can get you to the point where it can get you to bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the other tweets that I saw that I thought was like super interesting. So one woman asked, okay, so if y'all not marrying the woman y'all love, who are y'all marrying? And the person answered, they marry the woman that's around when they realize that they're getting older and they need to get married. And this is something I have debated with people about. This is something I've definitely seen time and time again, where there is a male friend, family member, coworker, associate, and they get to the point where they're like, all their homeboys are married, all their homeboys are having families, and they homeboys are like, I mean, it's okay. And I was just like, I mean, yeah, they done ran through everybody they can ran through on Twitter. All the girls that like them, they realize they don't really like them that much. And like you said, the one that they were like, I really could have married her. She no longer care about him. And it's like they find somebody that's, she's okay. And sometimes it's like, oh, she has a good image. We would look like a good couple together. We can have this like the image of a couple that I want. Sometimes it's like, yo, she's a really good mother. I know she'll be a really good mother to my kids. Other times it's she's a caregiver. And I know if anything happened to me, she's going to take care of me. And that's one of the big ones. I'll get into that later. But I've seen that happen time and time again, where it's a matter of everybody's leaving them in the dust in this single life. And it's no longer fun going out to party because Brady got to ask his wife if he can come out Friday. John got to ask his wife to pick up the kids because that's what he normally does. It's just no one is still living that same single life, I don't care life. And I think it's a matter of they got lonely. And sometimes it's not who is here. Sometimes they go back to who do I know will still want me.
Yeah, and that's not even fitting like That's just fitting your image of marriage, and that's irritating too.
Yeah.
I think I've been in that situation before, and I just felt like I was just the image of that person, what that person needed, and I'm like, that doesn't equate to love.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this. This was like either a year ago or like 2 years ago. I sent you a screenshot. It was this guy I dated in like college, and not serious. I think we went on like 2 or 3 dates, and then we just kind of remained cool on us. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Cool, whatever. And he had proposed to his girlfriend, and y'all, the caption was the most embarrassing shit I have ever read in my life. Like, I don't know it word for word, but it was essentially like, yeah, man, she finally got me to do it. Let me tell you about this woman right here. I done put her through everything, and she's still here. She stuck with me. She loved me so much that she has always put my needs before her. Like, it was this whole paragraph of like, yeah, man, ain't nobody else gonna put up with my shit. And you know what? I keep doing shit, and she is just like, yeah, that's okay. And I figured I could not get a better deal. Like, it was so horrible. I think I screenshotted it to 4 of y'all. Like, I hope she told him no. Like, I hope to God she saw that paragraph and was like, you know what? I'm gonna just pawn the ring and go take myself on a cruise and just think about some stuff. Yeah, and I was just like, what the hell? And there were still people like underneath there like, congrats, blah, blah, blah. And of course, if that's your girl or your homeboy, you want to be like, congrats. But I was like, did nobody else read the paragraph?
Nobody take the time to read this. You're right.
It was so horrible. And all I kept thinking is, like, I be damn if you sit here and tell the world how I sit there and put up with everything. And that's why you love me.
Be a good thing, right? Right.
Like, sir, I'm meeting you and your mama outside because she should have raised you better. We not doing this. It reminds me of that tweet. Like, who was there when they just finally said, I guess enough is enough. And of course, I don't think this happens. I definitely feel like I've met couples who like really loved each other, whether one loved the other more or they were on the same page. I've definitely met those couples, but this is definitely a thing. I have seen this happen over and over again. And I even have a homeboy who like had this great, amazing woman, and he was crazy about her. Like, we have never seen him smile so hard. We have never seen him bring somebody around. Like, he was really bringing her around from like jump. We had never seen him like, yo, I think I can marry this girl. And this was like in a couple months. Like, he was like, yo, and he done been with other people for like years. And like the topic of marriage was like, and I think she just got tired of his bullshit. I don't know. I don't know. But like, he ended up marrying this other girl like shortly after they broke up. And we were all just like, when he told us, I remember we were all hanging out and we were just all like, you doing what? Because we were like, do y'all even like each other? Like, especially after just seeing him come out of a relationship where you really knew he was, yeah. And it was just such a polar opposite. And he did. He married that girl. And when I tell you, before like 6 months, he was like, I made a mistake. Like, he was just like, I miss, he was talking about the other girl. He was like, and I miss her so much. And I love her so much. And you think she go? I'm like, boy, you married a whole nother woman on her. No, you're not getting her back. Like, I need you to understand.
Is she still single?
I have no idea. I don't know her personally. Like, I met her through him when he would bring her around. So I don't know. It was just one of those things for me. I was like, now you done got this other woman involved, though, who actually really loves you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care how much you love a person. It has to hurt to go as far as like marriage and realize you are nothing but like a bandage to emotional wound. Like, you didn't even respect me enough as a person to at least tell me what it is, at least so I can make that choice. Or like, why did we have to take it this far when that's what this was? So I definitely think it's a thing that happens. I think it's a thing that happens more than we like to admit. So one of the things that someone had brought up was this book called Guyland.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talk to us about Guyland.
So basically, the book Guyland. It's a book that he was talking about that he had to read, and it's when men will be children and babied by their mothers up until the time they leave childhood home. When they leave, they will spend all their time with other men. This period of time between a childhood home and the home they build with their wife is what the author calls Guyland, quote unquote, a very performative time. The book agrees that men get tired of Guyland and seek what they once had with their mother, a place where they are babied.
The one that creates safety and comfort. I think there's someone that creates that safety and comfort.
But you don't really have to love them like that.
Yeah. It reminds me of that guy, that like love guru socialite guy who like just famous for like tweeting shit that like you can find inside a Hershey wrapper bar. Just dumb shit like you should love her, and people be like, yes, he said that. Like, girl. But he had a scandal, what was that, last year, where he had cheated on his wife, and the woman that he cheated with was very different than his wife. The woman he cheated with was very like nails done, hair done, like I'm posting for the gram, like daddy on the block. And his wife was not. His wife was very like I thought the girl was apostolic, like no makeup. She was just, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm just saying like she was very different. Like she didn't really wear makeup. She really wasn't into caring about like how she dressed. She seems like a meek and humble, kind of quiet spirit. And the girl who cheated on her was nothing like this. And I think with the cheating, it wasn't even like it was a one-off thing. Like this was a long time cheating thing. And it reminds me kind of that, because it's like, how many times have we seen this? Like somebody, they settle with the image of what they want. And sometimes that's their mom, whether they realize that or not. But that's not their actual type.
Yeah.
So now they out here cheating with who is actually their type. And it's like, just that type is not who he wants to raise his kids. That type is not who he wants to bring home to mom. That type is not the one that he wants to wife. Like he can love her. He can want to be, that can be what he's actually really attracted to. But things like that will stop them. So they won't marry her. They'll cheat with her. And they end up marrying this other woman who like has no idea, because you done shown me love. You done proposed to me. You done moved in with me. I'm thinking, I am your type, that we are happy. We are in love. And it just kind of remind me of that situation, because it's like, yeah, like how many times have we seen that? Has cheated multiple times, or exes are completely different than what he ended up marrying. And you're kind of just like, okay, does she... I feel like this is such a hard topic, because I feel like I'm going to be judged for the way I explain it. Because I don't want to make it seem like the other girl's winning or the homely girl's winning, but like it just seems like
nobody's winning, really.
Yeah. Like they want to run through everybody, and then they get old, or they're starting to get old, and they like, well, damn, I'm gonna need somebody to take care of me. That's literally what it is. I don't want to come home alone. I
want to live like this the rest of my life.
Yeah. I can't do this forever. I want to come home to somebody. I want someone to talk to. And it's like, that's not fair to that woman. That's not fair. Or to that man, like whoever your other partner is, that's not fair to them. Because for the most part, men are never honest to women when they do that. They're never like, I really don't want to marry, but I don't want to die alone. So, I guess we can do it. Except for Jagged Edge. Can I just say, I hate the song We Should Get Married, because it is the most dragging my feet. You are forcing me to do this love song ever. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do this. Like, what? Why do y'all keep playing that at weddings? I would like y'all to stop saying this is our anniversary song.
You talk about his player life.
Yes.
Like, talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I want y'all to stop making this. I want y'all to stop making that y'all anniversary songs. I want y'all to stop making that y'all first dance songs. I want y'all to stop playing that at the reception. It's not a romantic song. The whole song is about a man who's like, I guess I gotta settle. Like, that is that song. It's not romantic.
I guess it's time to settle. Right.
I'm sorry. Every time I think about that, it ticks me off. It ticks me off so much because you know what? It reminds me of that status where everybody's just like, "Yeah," you're like, "Yo, he is about to put her through some bullshit. Why are we clapping for this? She deserves better."
Mm-hmm.
So another one I thought was interesting was there was this guy who responded to this thread and he said, "Marriage is a business, especially stateside. Those men probably couldn't see themselves doing business with that woman for whatever reason. Strongest feelings I ever had for a woman came with the facts I knew I could not be with her long term." And he was replying to a comment saying, "Why do y'all do this then? Like, why do y'all marry people who is not like the love of your life, is not who you actually really want to marry, who you really want to be with?" So that was his response. Marriage is a business. And with men, he might find a woman that he loved, but she is not basically someone he can build with. He doesn't feel like she's building material. So a woman replied to this and said, quote unquote, "I knew I couldn't be with her long term," quoting what he said. And she said, "Can you explain this? Not in a shady or disrespectful way. I'm just genuinely curious. If she's the woman you love the most, why couldn't you be with her long term?" And he never replied, or at least by the time I screenshotted, he didn't. And that is the BS I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't understand. They can be with her a long time.
here's my thing. But why start the relationship? Like, if you knew from jump you could not be with her long term, why put her through all of this?
Right. Why even do a relationship?
Yeah. And I'm not mad at him for like not marrying her because I get it. There has been people I have loved, but I'm like, yo, I can't marry you though. Like, I can't make this a permanent thing. I know long term this isn't stable enough. I know you can't provide me with certain emotional needs that is a requirement. But guess what? When I realized that, I ended it right there. I get finding a person you love, but realizing like love is not enough. But at the same time, it seemed like he dragged it on, knowing he wasn't going to marry her.
Like he been to you dragging it. Like this one guy said, no, she said she read this on Reddit. That one guy wished he married the love of his life, but he never had the courage to tell her he loved her. And she just went on about her life. He's married and has kids, but he doesn't love his wife. So many men agreed with him and shared the same stories. So he didn't even tell the lady that he loved. That he
No,
loved her.
no,
And so he just married the next person and he don't even love her. That's what's stupid. You got 3 kids. That's just like
But I'm
mind-blowing.
telling you, I think it happens more than we like to admit it. I really think it happens more than we like to admit it. Like, again, I promise you, I know so many situations like this where it's just like, why? Like, why? Especially if you, like, this is somebody you're thinking about years later.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, that's how you think of her, the love of my life. And I just really don't understand because I feel like he came to that conclusion before he got married.
Mm-hmm. And why you didn't go find her unless she already got married? I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe she was just tired of him and was just like, "No, you're not the love of my life, though."
Mm-hmm.
But the issue I have with this is not even so much their past as why bring another human being into this.
Mm-hmm.
She could have found somebody that actually loved her. She could be raising kids with somebody who thinks she's the most amazing person in the world instead of someone that's just like, "You will do."
And then as women, I think we have to like pay attention to stuff too. Like, you know, if somebody really love you. I hope so.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we've all had a conversation with at least one of our homegirls where they are telling you this horrible story and they're like, "But I know he does love me." And you're like, "Okay." And you're just like, "All right." The fact that you came to that conclusion is fascinating. And some of us have actually been that person as well. So I think sometimes when you love really hard, it blinds you to certain things. Because I know I for sure have dated people who afterwards I think about certain things they did and they say, and I was like, yo, why didn't I react to that? Yo, that was actually like really horrible. Why did I let that just skate by?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that just, having your blinders on, being so
or never being loved correctly by anybody.
That too. That too.
So this is better than the last person,
Mm-hmm.
but it still ain't really love, sis.
Yeah. Well, and then we have to keep in mind also, there are some people that have that mentality of, what's that Janine song? It's like a Janine and Drake song where she's like, I love me enough for the both of us. And I'm just like, I remember hearing that for the first time, like, you what? And maybe that's not how she meant it, but like it reminds me of a person that's like, I don't care if you love me. I love you so much that I will do anything to make this work. And I've been in a relationship like that. I was in a relationship with someone who I wasn't in love. And I tried to tell them multiple times. I tried to end it multiple times where I was just like, yo, I know we have a lot of fun together. I really enjoy your company. We are amazing together. Like we are like a great couple together. We host amazing parties. Like it's fun. But I know I'm not in love. I know I don't look at you the same way you look at me. I know there's sometimes you tell me certain things and I'm like, yeah, I never even thought about a future together. Like, stuff like that. And their whole thing was like, I don't care. I love you so much. You don't have to love me. That is not fair for them. And it's not fair for the person that even settles either. Like, it's not fair for anybody in a situation. You deserve to find somebody, if you want, that loves you and you love, that you're crazy about. And that person also deserves to find somebody that's crazy about them. So I do wonder if it's one of those things, because I do think, like, I know I have came across situations where one person knows what it is. Like one person, it's one of those elephants in a room where like they know they still check their ex's Instagram every night before they go to sleep. Like they know that. They know that like someone will mention her name and or his name, and he would just go off on a tantrum about him, like, you know what, and da-da-da. And that's not normal. I've been broken up for 5 years. Why do you get mad at the mention of his name? That's odd. We know you know they're gonna be at some place, and all of a sudden they dressed up real fancy and will smell real good. It's very important that they see them looking good and they're pushing you in their face. Like there's definitely situations where I feel like the other person knows, and they're like, well, I'm going to love you out of this. I want to win you. And I don't think love should be about winning.
It's not about winning at all.
Yeah. It gets into a dangerous territory when you make it about that. So another user posted a example, and this was a tweet from a guy. She like quoted back a guy on her timeline who tweeted this like a week ago. And the guy tweeted, you can suck my D and support my dreams all you want for centuries. If I meet the love of my life, the next week I'm out. Yeah. And when I tell you in this thread, and there was so many people that was like, that's it. I'm done. I give up on men. Like there was so many women that was just like, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm good. Why? I don't even want to deal with this. Because this thread, if y'all find it, is so low-key depressing. Like, because not only if you read through this thread, you'll see a lot of women just like, yo, I'm done. I'm out. This is depressing. But you also have men that come into this thread and they're like supporting it. They're just like, yeah, me and none of my homeboys like their wives. Or you have like a whole bunch of dudes coming in like, yeah, my girl, I love her or whatever. But like the woman I wanted to marry, she's off married with somebody else. And you're just like, what? Yeah, it's a heartbreaking thread.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I just like get those feelings like if you have to beg somebody or keep on trying to reassure them that you're the one, just leave them alone. It's hard to just leave somebody alone, but you gotta just leave that alone.
Yeah. But that last tweet where he was just like, yeah, but if I meet the love of my life tomorrow, I'm out. Like, that is just so freaking cold. I know a whole bunch of people, but especially my female friends who were in situations that they needed to get out of, whether it was because they realized they were still in love with their ex or they realized they were no longer in love or whatever. But they take so much time to do it in a way that like minimizes the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just like I'm packing up my stuff and I'm out tomorrow to go live my best life with somebody else. It's like, okay, so I'm just slowly texting him back. And then I'm going to kind of just bring up like we don't have a lot of stuff in common. And then, just stop seeing each other as much. And then I'll let him know. We'll have that conversation. Like plotting a whole thing so it doesn't feel like it's coming out the blue. But this dude out here, like, nope, I can meet her tomorrow and you could have held me down through everything and I'm gone.
And I don't care about you, your feelings.
And it's just cold. It's cold. I might have done something like this once, but in my defense, it wasn't like because I met another person or whatever. I don't think it counts if the person like pisses you off and you're just like, I don't even need to talk to you while you mad. Just understand, never again. And cut off cold turkey and just go about my life. I definitely have done that, but I don't think it's the same when it's a matter of like, no, I'm leaving for a person. Despite everything you've done, I have taken all your hard work. And this, can I just say, is why I'm such a big believer in meet somebody on your level, equally yoked people. And people get mad when you say that because they're like, love is love. And, men don't say that when they date and blah, blah, blah. And they call us gold diggers when we do that. Okay, let them call us gold diggers when we do that. But I don't believe, because there's so many people out here who will sit there and let you build them up, get their credit together, help them get a new car, help them get a better job. You are paying the bills while they're in school type of situation, and they will straight up leave you once they have everything together. Without a doubt. Like they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care how much hard work you put into them and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that to say you shouldn't support your partner's dreams. I'm saying I won't. I'm not. I don't care how much I love a person. I'm not working while you're in school. No. You need to come to me out of school. Like, that's what you need to do. I'm not. It don't sit right with my spirit. But any of the things, like even when like I can't marry no stay-at-home dad. You're not about to put me on child. You are not about to put me on spousal support. I'm not paying no grown man. I'm not giving no grown man money who I'm now. No. But that's a topic for me and my therapist. Don't worry about that.
Right.
But but like, no, to me, that's like a perfect example. Like, some people out here will really straight up leave you. This is for either sex. And then there was another person who tweeted about how his friend married his baby mom. He said, this is my homeboy right now, or this is my dog right now. He married his baby mom so that the family is all under the same house. He's just going through the motions. I mean, he loves her, but that's not his soulmate. Would you be okay with that? Like, they do love you, but you're not like...
Because you had a kid together?
Yeah, they said he also loves her, but once they had a kid, he was like, I want to be in the same house as my kid. And he does love her, but like, he's very aware, like, this isn't like, I have to be with you. I love you so much. This is very like, I love you, and it's practical. Can you do a practical love?
No, probably not, because I don't. But then that's always the convenience of a child. But if you was like, so she's in love with him, but he doesn't love her, it's just practical, like, or is it the same? She feels the same.
We don't know how she feels. It doesn't say that, but he does love her. But it's not like I wanted to marry her on her own. The fact that we have a kid and I enjoy being a full-time dad, push my hand.
Oh, okay. No, I wouldn't want to be married to somebody like that though.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't know that though.
Oh, probably not. She probably on his homeboy's Twitter right now. Like, I hope he ain't talking about you, Jamal. This is probably news to her too. So here's the thing. I'm okay with practical love in a certain sense. I think there should be I think marriage should have some practicability. We can't want 10 kids and both of us broke. Like there has to be some practicability about it. It has to be some of that. But in regards to love, no. Like I I have this Scorpio moon. Like I better be the pinnacle of everything. Like
Yeah,
you
that's how
can't.
I feel. Like,
But can I
yeah,
say also I feel low key bad because I don't want to marry the person that is like my pinnacle of my everything. That feels very,
why?
very dangerous. You know what? I had an aunt who used to always tell me, like, a woman puts herself in a dangerous position if she stays with a man that she loves more than he loves her.
Yeah.
And that's always stuck with me. That has always stuck with me. And I feel like I've seen it time and time again where I have seen situations where it's very obviously the woman loves more and the man
Mm-hmm.
takes advantage of that. Versus I feel like the women I've seen who marry men who absolutely adored them and they love them too, but it's very clear like they have a different type of love. It works out better for them. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm a hypocrite because I feel like that's a softer way of saying the same thing, except for women now get to be in charge. So maybe, you know what? I take back everything I say. Y'all do y'all. Everybody go out and hurt each other's feelings.
Hard for me to love somebody a lot. So if I really loved you like that, you winning because I just didn't get that way easily. But sometimes I feel like I loved harder in situations.
Mhm.
And it was better for me to be like that because if I didn't, I just wouldn't care. I wouldn't give so much. But then it kind of even flowed or whatever.
Even flow is different though.
I think at some of the points of the relationship, I feel like I did more. Like he was trying to get with me or whatever. And then I felt like I fell really, really hard and fast more than he did, I think. But that's my opinion on it.
Well, I think there will be times where one person has to push in more. I had a boss who had been married for like years, like at least 30 years. She was like, look, let me tell you. She was like, there have been times in my marriage I have not liked my wife. There's been times in my marriage that she has not liked me. She was like, there have been times where I had to put in and push for everything because she just no longer had the energy. And there has been times where she's had to push in and push for me because I no longer have the energy. And the way she explained it was like, but that's marriage. You cannot stay with a person that long and keep that same level of
Mm,
enthusiasm and happiness. She was telling me like, you are going to go through things. You can't be with a person that long and not go through things. And there's things that's going to make it hard to love the person. And they gave like examples. They're like, you find out your spouse has a gambling addiction and done gambled away all your money. It's going to be very
mhm,
hard to love them the same during that time. Let's say they get
mhm,
help. Let's say y'all get back together. Now you're on the road to recovery and y'all repairing y'all marriage. It might be a while before you are back at that level because you're like, you done ruined my whole marriage. You up here doing stuff I'm not credit, doing stuff I didn't even know about. They have a whole bunch of different examples, but they're like, you're going to, in order to stick together with a person, there is going to be a kind of like water where it flows back and forth, and the water might not always be at the same level. And I think that's practical. I think that's realistic. But I think I mean like more in general, like where just overall one person loves the other more.
The whole, yeah.
Let me just say the reason why I say I think it's better for a woman to be with someone who loves them more is because women, I think we have been socialized to stay with men because they are good men. So even if they aren't fulfilling all your needs, even if that isn't the love of your life, I think we have been socialized in the previous generations are like, that's a good man. He got a good job. He don't beat on you. He come home every night. He ain't got no side babies. You better treat that man right. And I think because of that, and because society keeps being like, yes, you have to get a man, you gotta catch him. And ladies, y'all need to be the ones getting catch. Y'all the prize. But I feel like I see a lot more women able to like stay around marriages and relationships or whatever, and just like, oh, I'm grateful he's a good man, versus kind of like that tweet said, like a man trying to be in a relationship with someone who loves him more. Then he finds someone who he actually loves more, he gone. He don't care nothing about y'all feelings. And before y'all come for me, this is actually proven by statistical fact. There was a study done in like 2018 on spouses of people who have terminal illnesses. And what they found, I don't remember the numbers, but it was dramatically different. It was something like 40% of men leave their spouse once they have a serious long-term illness versus women. And our number was like 70 something of staying when our partner gets a long-term illness. So before y'all say I'm being mean and picking on men, no, I'm talking about statistically, it has been proven across multiple different topics that women will stay through things and men will leave. So that's why I think it's better for women to, like, if you love him, but he loves you a little bit more, you're probably in a safer boat than if you're the one who's head over heels and he's just kind of like, yeah, I love you too. April, but I love you too.
Convenient. You cool? No.
So let me ask you though, how do you feel? So I said I'm a hypocrite because I feel like it's perfectly okay for women to do this, to a lesser degree. How do you feel about women doing this? Not to that degree, but of marrying a person because they're ready to like settle down and they're ready to do this, and it's a good person. It's just, if you were younger, it probably wouldn't be the person you choose. But now your clock is running, you're ready to settle down, you're ready to build with somebody, and you're just tired of dating. Do you feel more like that's okay for a woman? Or are you like, I kind of get sis? Or are you still like, no, 100% no, don't do that. That's horrible.
I low-key kind of think it's okay.
I know. I know, because I definitely do.
I think like man would still be like, okay, I'm going to the next one coming. But I think more women would be like, if they in it, I think I can fall. Like if you could keeping that steady flow of caring and loving that you're doing, and then you having kids with me, you take care of like you showing me like you loving my kids. I think we can grow into love somewhat. Whereas men is still in the back of their mind want to cheat, but some women still in the back of their mind they probably like want to do that too. But me personally, I don't think I would. I don't know. I think it's more. I don't know. I still think a man would still leave that woman before that woman.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I have a friend. I have a homegirl who actually did this. I'm trying to be as general as possible, but did this. Like, we had a conversation. She was like, yeah, this is not the person I love more than anything. She was like, but the person I love more than anything, it was too much. I'd never want to have that height of feelings for a person. Because she said every little thing that they did affected me. Versus the person she ended up settling down with. She was like, I love him, but my world won't end if he left. And like, I low-key get that. Because one of the last people I dated, I had like strong feelings for, and I freaking hated it. If anything, it made it easier for me to leave because I was like, I don't even like feeling like this. I don't like that you can do stuff that can make me this level of anger. I don't like that you can do something that can make me this emotional. I'm not used to being this emotional. I don't want to be with someone who can trigger me in that way. Even with that said, I also know I can't grow into love. I tried it. I was in a relationship with someone who's amazing, who's an absolutely amazing, wonderful guy. He's going to make someone an absolutely amazing husband. We have a ball together. Like, we laugh, we have similar sense of humor. They were a great person, and I tried, and I couldn't. I ended up resenting them. After a while, I ended up getting very resentful of them. And it was just like, because it was like, dang, you get to be happy with me. Like, you happy. Like, I'm just like, I ended up being like real resentful. Like, there was a whole part where I was just absolutely annoyed with them. Like, don't touch me. We'll come home, not want to speak to them. And they weren't doing anything. It was me. My body and my mind just straight up will not let me. It's just not something I think I'm capable of. I agree though, like there definitely are women and men who, I think more so women, who can condense themselves into loving somebody, that can grow into love. I'm very aware that it's not something I can personally do. So that leaves me in nowhere land, because if I can't be with someone I actually care for, I can't be with someone I can't. It's fine. Me and Kari gonna travel the world. But
I think I'm able to do that.
I think you
I
are
think I'm
too.
able to,
I think
but
you
you have to be consistent with it. Before, I have felt for somebody because he was so freaking consistent at. I was like, well, I'll give him a chance. But then he just fell off on everything else. Like he wasn't like take care of himself and doing things he needed to do to keep it up. I'm like, I'm already giving you a chance. You wasn't gonna get one for you to start. Like,
Can I just say real
not being
quickly?
consistent.
Let me just say real quickly. You crack me up whenever we record. Because when we just regularly talk, I guess I don't pay attention. But whenever we record, like when you're mad, I can hear it in your voice. And you'll be telling the story and you're like, and because I said, I'm like, oh, okay. You're having flashbacks. All right. And I'd immediately, okay, I know who she's talking about. Okay, sis, breathe through it. You got through it. It's fine. Keep going. You crack me up though.
I'm like, bruh. If you would have kept up and consistently, if you was growing with me, you probably could have still had me. But yeah. But if it's like a consistent growth and we're growing together and it's a good path, I can do it.
Yeah. That's definitely. I don't think I ever really date my type. I am attracted to people I date. I will say that. Very, very rarely will I date someone I'm not attracted to, at least a little bit. But my exact type, like if the creator came down and was like, hey, I'm gonna let you create your mate. My mate looked like a fuckboy. Like if we just being 100% honest, like that is my 6'5", yellow, tattoos, beard, football build. Like I can't. Why? Because they're usually assholes. And they're usually kind of stupid.
Everybody. It's for everybody.
They're usually for everybody. And it's like, if I have to date somebody for everybody, it need to be like Drake. Like, okay, you Drake, all right, we can make some exceptions. You know what? Start my baby a trust fund and we'll figure everything else out. But if you work at Citibank, no. Like, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with this. You know what's crazy? Me and Treva talked about this over the weekend where we were talking about like women who stay in cheating and who like are like end up compromising if cheating is a thing they can work through or not. I don't understand it. And my whole thing is like, if I have to sacrifice emotional pain, it better be because I can build generational wealth for some shit. You know? Stuff like our grandmamas and great grandmas had to ignore stuff. But you know why? Because she needed to make sure the babies had a house. So it was like, I'm going through this pain, but I'm doing it because it's going to make sure my kids have a good start. And so their kids can have good, something like that. So for me, it's like, look, okay, I will sacrifice for my child. I will sacrifice for my future grandchildren, so forth. But like, my sacrifice cost a lot. Like it costs a whole bunch. And let me be very clear, $160,000 a year? No, sir. No, sir. That's not enough. That's not enough. I'm still setting your laundry basket on fire. Like, we're not doing this. And the whole reason we got into that is because we were watching a show and a woman stayed because she was like, oh, he got a good job. He makes like $110,000 a year. And like, he's a good man. And I remember just like, girl, let me tell you something. That's not worth your dignity, girl. I'm trying to tell you. It's not. It's not. But, you know, if you can buy me an island every time you upset me, you know, that might be negotiable. But y'all don't listen to me because my therapist says I do not give good advice on love. So I always feel the need to put that disclaimer. Like, hey, this area is not my strong point. But I agree. I am a hypocrite because I do believe like I'm more okay with women doing that. And the reason I say that is because I feel like women have a more likely chance of staying and growing to love than a man will. And I think when a woman does that, she puts herself in a vulnerable position, because I think men are more likely to, if they had the chance to actually be with the woman they wanted to be with, just up and leave, no thoughts, no conversation, boom, done,
Mm-hmm.
without a single thought about your feelings.
No, women, I don't think so. I think we're more emotional.
Yeah, empathetic of like, yeah.
Mhm.
So overall, I do think that this is a thing that definitely happens. It was interesting to me because there were so many women on that thread that were just like, what? Like it opened their eyes and they were just like, this is breaking my heart. I had no idea this was a thing. And there was a lot of women on there that were just like, yo, I wonder. One girl had posted and she was saying like, basically, like, yo, this thread just really made me think how many people I've been in a relationship with that really didn't even really want to be in a relationship with me.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
fit a need at the time. They never had any long-term plans. They were thinking about somebody else, blah, blah, blah. She was like, because it hurts me to see. She was like, some of y'all got whole families, got whole kids in college with that woman. And she could have been off
Yeah.
living her happiest life with someone who actually loved her. And I also think you have a higher chance of like cheating, affairs, and all that other emotional drama when you settle. For example, my favorite soda is Dr. Pepper.
I'm about to say Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, my favorite soda is Dr. Pepper. I will drink a Pepsi if it's there. I'm gonna put down that Pepsi if you give me a Dr. Pepper. If y'all find out they now restocked on a Dr. Pepper, I'm gonna go get that Dr. Pepper. And that's how I feel about settling. Like they might take that Pepsi, but let Dr. Pepper become available.
Down.
Yeah. Okay, I think y'all got to trade me over to the men's side because I feel like I'm now 13. The more I talk, I was like, yeah, you're going to have to edit out your whole part. It's just going to be me talking. It's just going to be Nick talking to herself.
And sis.
You were looking at the text like, are you sure you want to go on this subject? I feel like this is not an area we should talk on, Raz.
No.
It's okay. If it helps, it actually made me sit there and like have to be honest with myself about things. So,
Mhm.
you know,
Me too. About
yeah. So, you know, that is the silver lining, whether it's happy things, good things or not. But also in my defense, I've also said like, I'm no longer putting energy into that area. So I'm not dragging somebody along. Have I done that in the past? We're not going to talk about that, but I'm not doing it now. That is the point. That is, yes. Well, you always been good about that. You have always been,
always been.
You are a very, very good partner. You bossy, but you are a very good partner outside of that.
Well, thank you. And the bossiness, I don't know if that's going anywhere.
You know what? I remember the first time I realized it because me and you don't really incorporate the men that we date into our everyday lives. Both of us are that is separate because if this ends, I don't want to have to fill the gaps in those areas. So with that being said, a lot of times when me and you are dating, we have not actually physically met the guys. Also, we live in different states. But I remember the first time I had met a partner of yours that you were dating seriously and you were mean to them. And I was like, what is going on? And like, I had never seen you be mean. Like, I didn't even know you were capable of that. And I was just like, oh, that poor baby. This 6 foot something man is like, looks terrified of her. Okay. And it just like blew my mind. But no, there was a second time. I don't know if you remember, but it was like I dropped you off somewhere. You had luggage. And I don't know if they like dropped luggage or something, but she was like, you gotta pick it up. Like you did something like that. It just shocked me because I was just like, that's not my Neek. That's not how my Neek acts. So I'm sorry. It's just always interesting to see you in different dynamics because I'm very used to a very certain side of you.
Yeah, I'm different when it comes to that. But I think it's a generational thing. My mom acts this way, my grandma acts this way, and I act this way. But I get mad when I see my grandma or my mom do it, so I try to check myself now when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that's generational. And we all kind of talk to the same, similar man. Like my dad was very much like my late fiance, and he's very much like, you know, and then my grandpa is just like my dad. So they're all like laid back men, like they're cool about it until they're not, until like you ain't gonna disrespect me now.
Yeah.
But they are like laid back.
Just the times I have seen it, it always takes me back. Like, what is going on? So, wrapping it all up, guys, tell us what you think about this topic. Is this something you have ever thought about yourself? Is this something that even crossed your mind, or this is the first time you are hearing this? Are you on the team of no one should do this at all? It's absolutely horrible. Or are you also a hypocrite and you're like, I just feel like it works out better for women if they do it. Men should not, but like women,
Men
y'all
should
do
not do it at
you.
all.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about it? I think me and Neek wrapped it up. We are both on team men should not do it. It's absolutely horrible. Ladies, I mean, maybe if you're nice about it,
Right.
do what you feel
Be
you
nice.
need to do. Secure the bag, sis. Secure the bag, bro. You got
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. I might have to stop. Yeah. This I might actually upload this and it just be you. And every time I talk, I play like elevator music.
No. Be honest, sis. Be honest.
I just feel like I come off so horrible in this. Oh gosh. Well, okay. I guess we'll find out later. So, tell us in the comments how y'all feel about this. If this is something you have done, if this is something you think either gender should do, and if this is something you are even aware of, or were you also walking around like, yeah, no, people get married because they love each other. That's it. So with that said, you guys have a good week and we will talk at you later.
Yes.
Bye.